I had to go to his school yesterday with his mother because kids who have birthdays during the summer, which Wyatt does, is July 3rd.
Right.
They pick a day during the school year and they celebrate it. And they invite the parents of the kid. And we're each invited to tell a little story about Wyatt. And his mother does. And I've done this now 2 or 3 years, and a couple of years. And my story always has a moral because I think it's important that these children get a lesson out of this as opposed to just some dopey story about what Wyatt did on his summer vacation. So it's a little of that, and then I try to relate it to their little lives. So
that's sweet. Nice.
But
you bring some meaning to the moment.
Sure.
Could you tell a story? Could you tell us a story that you told about Wyatt?
Yes, I will, in a couple of minutes.
Does it involve two daddies?
I probably should have. What are the headlines? Forgot about so it was good. Anyway, so yesterday, before we get to news, yesterday at Wyatt's school, his mother tells a story about, you're sitting in a room with about 20 kids or so.
Yeah.
3 teachers, or 2 teachers and a teacher's helper. And you have to sit in those little dopey chairs,
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
It's a lovely school. Anyway. So his mother tells a story about when Wyatt got, we had these great Pyrenees at the ranch, these dogs that are guard dogs to keep the mountain lions and the coyotes away from the sheep instead of chickens. So beautiful animal. So we got Wyatt one, a puppy that he named Tapper after some turtle in some movie. And we put it in a box, Chicken Jack did, at Christmas, and he opened the box, and there's the dog. And so that was a cute story. So I said, I had already asked Wyatt this if I could tell him about during the spring session out there with the kids when he got bucked off his horse. And not a pony, a big horse. And he said, yeah, but I said, I won't mention it. He cried. He says, yeah, don't mention that part. So that's fine. So I told the kids, I said, Wyatt has this. I took him through the progression that when he could ride before he could walk. And then he got to where he rode a pony, and then we would lead the pony and he'd go out with the kids. And eventually he was riding a pony by himself. He decided he wanted to ride a pony anymore. He wanted to ride a bigger horse. So we got him a horse named Grumpy, and he rides Grumpy. We're in the Joseph Abboud indoor arena there, which is about the size of a football field, covered. And it's filled with sand, so you work horses out in there. And it's a place where they would take the kids who are not that confident, and if they fall off, they don't get hurt, usually. But horses like to lie down and roll in the sand because it's wet and stuff. So Wyatt's on Grumpy, and Grumpy lies down on him. Is that right? Lies down? Or lays down?
Lays down.
Well, you have to be careful when a horse lies down on you because then the horse rolls over and it'll roll over on you.
Yeah.
So Wyatt jumps off and he won't get back on. I'm telling the kids. And I said, we talked him into getting back on, and so he got back on. They all, so that was good. So then he's loping the horse up and down the arena, and Grumpy bucks him off. And Wyatt bucks out, and then I started crying. Well, I wasn't going to tell that part. So I said, and it took a while. I said, but we finally talked him into getting back on. I said, the moral is here, boys and girls, is that when life bucks you off your horse, you've got to get back on. I said, for example, if you fall off your bike, you've got to get back on.
Yeah.
If you fall off your little skateboard, you've got to get back on.
What if you fall out of an airplane?
I said, let's just say you're on a car trip with your parents.
Right.
And you fall out of the car.
Yeah.
If your parents stop, they all kind of look at me. I said, then you've got to get back in the car. I said, now, if they don't stop, I said, that presents you with a new set of problems. And it's just there's dead silence in the room. I said, because you can either get a lawyer Or your options, one of your other options would be to start looking around for new parents who perhaps care about you more than the current ones do, who let you fall out of the car and then didn't bother to stop.
Yeah. It's a good story.
Beautiful. So,
what happened at that point?
well, they kind of laughed.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, they did laugh. And we, basically,
You're a regular Theodore Geisel, you know that?
Mike Tyson come in and read nursery rhymes for the kids?
25 after the hour. What's going on over there?
It's a nice story, I mean.
Warm and fuzzy.
Nice story.
I said, or if you're at a rest stop and you guys stop to get a little snack and something,
Yes.
and you come out and the car's gone.
Yeah.
What do you do then?
You're standing there with your little...
So, you're 5.5 years, 6 years old, and what are you going to do? Don't even probably know your own phone number. Anyway, but they're going to have the machine on. Because there's a reason they left you there at the...
Yeah, it was not an accident.
No.
It's just...
They'll have you back talking again, sir.
Tomorrow morning, R. Kelly.
R. Kelly and the I-Man. Here was
You
story.
get back on.
So you're screaming, pounding on the side of the car, trying to get back in, and they're saying, get away from it.
Get away from your car, or we'll call the police.
Well, now you have a new set of problems.
So anyway. Could be another reason they always have your seatbelt on. I didn't think of that part.
That's right.
Who needs Mr. Rogers? And Mr. Imus.
Well, Brant was telling me when he was a kid, there were 5 kids in his family, and his brother did fall out of the car.
Yeah.
Was Brent driving?
Well, I guess Brant's dad was driving.
The door's closed. Okay, here we go.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
What's going on in the world?
Can you say child abandonment? All right, I-Man. The plan for the